Welcome back, Weeblos. We're going to be moving on to movie making on 464. I'm going to talk about the requirements for that and kind of walk you through it, and then I would love to see what you guys can put together on this. Obviously, you're not required to this camp to send in your movie, but I'd still love to see them. If you guys aren't meeting with your den or pack, or you guys don't do this as a group with your pack or den, then you can of course do this with your family, mom, dad, aunts, uncles, grandma, brothers, sisters, whoever you can, neighbors, whoever you can find to be in your movie. But we'll just go over a couple of the requirements here, and I chose this one because I love seeing scouts have fun, so I'm excited to see your movie. So I hope you guys send those in to me. That really makes my day when I get to watch you guys having fun and being creative. So requirement 1 here is to write a story outline describing a real or imaginary scouting adventure. Create a pictured storyboard that shows your story. And there's some really good examples in your book here of that kind of thing. So we'll go over those. For thousands and thousands of years, people have been telling stories with pictures. Cave dwellers drew pictures on cave walls, and artists decorated walls and ceilings in places of worship. Today we often tell stories with moving pictures and watch them at movie theaters or on television. Stories are a way to express yourself and connect with other people. Your idea for a story can come from real-life experiences, or you can use your imagination. Telling a story about yourself with a movie can allow others to get to know you better. If you tell a story about getting lost on a hike or burning your dinner on a campout, most scouts will identify with your story because they have experienced something similar. So your stories for this don't have to be real complicated or long. It's just a simple story about a scouting adventure that you've had, or an imaginary scouting adventure that you would like to have. Today, many people tell stories for a living, including cartoonists, animators, and movie directors. A lot of time can go into planning a great story. The first step in creating your movie is to write an outline of the story. Next, you'll create a storyboard to show through pictures how the story will progress. A storyboard is much like a comic book, with each picture representing one scene or camera shot. Creating a storyboard lets everyone involved with the movie visualize what it will look like before they get started. For this requirement, write an outline for your story about a scouting adventure. Then create a storyboard showing each part of the story. So on page 467 here, it is a quick hand-drawn storyboard. You guys just don't have to be this complicated. You don't have to color them in. They can be stick figures. So these are really nice for this book, but they don't need to be that complicated or extravagant. Your storyboard should include setting, when and where the story happens, such as a farm, castle during the American Revolution, 500 years in the future, literally anything you can think of here. Characters are who appears in your story, whether it be a hero, a villain, a monkey, a king, a platypus, a talking car. It can literally be anything. And plot is what happens in your story, so what happens to your characters. A good plot has a beginning, a middle, and an end. The beginning introduces the main character and the problem that must be solved, or the challenge that must be overcome. The middle shows the main character working to solve that problem and overcome the challenges. The end shows how things turned out. Think of a scouting activity and write a story outline. Your story can take place anywhere you imagine and can include all sorts of fun characters. It can be set in modern times or in the past or future. Create a storyboard using your outline as a guide. You may use sketches, photos, or a collage. Try to visualize what your story would look like if acted out. Here in the book it shows a picture of a large poster board. If you don't have that available, you can use single pieces of paper. Like I said, these can be as simple or as extravagant as you guys like. They don't need to be anything terribly complicated. For requirement 2 is to create either an animated or a live action movie about yourself. Your movie should depict how you live by the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. Do you ever watch cartoons? Did you realize that a cartoon is nothing but a series of still pictures strung together, each one slightly different from the one before? Drawings made by hand or generated on computers can be used to make animation. Photographs of clay figures or movable objects to simulate motion can also be used. You can use clay or Play-Doh or wire to make little stick figures, action figures that you might have in your toy box, anything like that. A still action movie, so where you just take a picture, move it a little bit, take another picture, and keep going like that. For this requirement, create a short animated or live action movie. You should start with a storyboard you created for requirement 1, or write a new story. Writing a more detailed script that contains what each character is doing and or saying, or even thinking, might help. Then you're ready to get started. For an animated movie, your setting can be as simple as a photo backdrop or as fancy as a 3D stage, complete with props and furniture. Your actors can be people, puppets, action figures, clay sculptures, or basically anything you want. Just choose objects that can be adjusted in small ways and will stand on their own. Be sure your camera is on a tripod or a stand so it doesn't move between shots. Show you guys what my tripod looks like. It's we're going to call it a very resourceful Scout build because it's what I had available. So I'm going to pause it here and I'll show you my tripod because it's actually kind of funny. Alright, you'll notice that the camera got a lot more unstable because I took it off the tripod. This is a Scout Thrifty build here. The back of my camera that I have in my hand has a magnet on it, a pretty strong magnet on it. So I've taken this broken tripod. The legs were still good, but the top broke off. So you can see it there. The top broke off here, but these legs are still adjustable and they're still fine. So I took that, a piece of string, and this is just a piece of plate steel that my magnet on my camera sticks to. So there's my improvised tripod for my Scout being thrifty. So we're gonna pause, switch the camera back, and continue. Alright, continuing here on page 470, follow these steps to create your animation. Place your actors on the set in their starting positions, take a picture, make slight changes to your actors so they progress in whatever action they're doing, like waving, jumping, or walking. Take another picture, continue moving your actors and taking pictures until all movements in the scene are complete. Be sure to include a character in the movie that represents something about you. If you want to show that you are friendly, your avatar, an avatar is just your character or is a substitute for you. Could wave at the camera. If you like science, your avatar could wear a lab coat. Once the scene is complete, you can use free photo viewer software on a computer to rapidly move all of the pictures and see your animation in action. Ask an adult for permission before going online. Parents, guardians, adult leaders might be able to help you with this. But of course, always get permission from your parent or guardian. For a live action movie, be sure to shoot your video with equipment and at a location approved by your parent or guardian. It doesn't have to be a fancy video camera. It can be something as simple as your a camera phone. So, requirement number 3: share your movie with your family, den, or pack. This is the stuff that I would love to see. Of course, you're not required to do so, but I always really enjoy watching Scouts have a lot of fun and be creative. So, if you guys want to email this in, that's our virtualcamps@winnebago.org, and we will take a look at those and I'll send you a little feedback. Either I will or your camp director, Whitney, will get back to you on that one. Our Scout executive in our local council is also on that email, so he would also love to see that kind of stuff. So send plenty of stuff in for Jim, and we'll all give it a look and try to get you guys a little feedback individually. So thanks for tuning in for our movie making adventure here. We're going to move on to a scouting adventure and keep right on going. See you guys back in a few.